Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to Mario Kart Central for the Mario Kart Tour World Cup. We are casting some play-in matches today. Our first one is Spain versus UK, and yeah, so I'm joined by Wins today.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. A European broadcaster in an all-European match. I figured it would turn out this way.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. It's been a very long time, and I think
Yeah.
not only to have you on, but to have a Mario Kart Tour cast in general. So it's great to be back. And yeah, we are looking at Spain, UK, like I said. Let's go on over to what we're looking at today. These are our lineups. So yeah, I guess we can start with Spain here. Pretty typical lineup. This is their main lineup this year. So JF, Jose, Lion, and Tonkian.
Yeah, great team in general. I think these guys know each other for such a long time. All very, very experienced members actually in the MKT crew. I think most of these players are playing for over 2 years for sure. And then you have the UK side. I gotta admit, there are some new players there for me personally. I do know Leon and Alex pretty well because they've both been in Dynamite. But V, Kush, and Zaber are a bit more unknown to me. Do you know more about them, Mitch, and their roles in their team?
Yeah, so Kush is in MKD, which is the UK-based team. So he's been playing for a little more over a year with those guys. He's one of their main players. Zaber's even newer, actually. He played with Silent, I believe, which started playing in the past year in Mario Kart Tour, and he's actually gotten to be a very solid player over the past few months. So it's good to see him in this lineup.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, they have a nice mix of newer players and more experienced players, and that's also a thing. I think since MKT is pretty easy, I would say, to pick up, people can get to a really competitive level at a quick time, which is very good for the game. I think it just keeps on bringing in new people because of that. That's one thing I really love, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, while we're waiting for the match to start, we can look at our standings. This is updated up to this point, including all the matches that have happened today so far. Yeah, for those who aren't aware, we have 14 matches total today. I think about half of them are done now. So we are updated to this point. As you can see, Group 4 on the right, that is what we're looking at right now. Again, the fight for that first seed. And yeah. I think another match that I personally want to point out is if looking at Group 2, we have two teams that have played one match. Chile and Argentina is the second match we're going to cast tonight, but Argentina and Germany, I think, is the match we want to focus on here, because that is a fight for that second seed that will move on to the group stage. Germany has played very well against Australia and fell to Chile. Understandably, Chile was it's seed 9, so they've been playing together for a very long time. Germany has some newer players this year, so an expected result. But Argentina is also new to the tournament this year. And
that sounds like a great match, yeah. I was kind of surprised that Chile was in here because not a lot of people maybe know about Chile, especially outside of the MKT community. But in MKT, Chile is a true powerhouse. They're actually really strong. I was low-key surprised that they're not in the top 8. Which says a lot about the other 8 too, because they're all very strong as well.
Yeah, it was tough seeding. This like every middle seed basically was difficult to seed. Chile unfortunately had to bump down to the 9th seed.
I mean, it's not a disadvantage, especially if you can practice together as a group, have these few matches to build up your confidence, especially, I mean, assuming they're winning them. I don't see it as a negative thing. I think it's actually, you're forced to play under a certain pressure. You got to win these matches. You need to perform in just like these 3 matches, you need to show that what you're capable of. So yeah, I think it can actually really help a team. So maybe it's just for the better then.
Yeah, and I think it'll help boost their confidence because last year they did go 0-3 in group stage, and they were seeded in the top 8 last year. So I think this getting 3 wins, or ideally getting 3 wins in this group will boost their confidence going into the group stage for the second time. So,
Yep.
But yeah, Argentina. Do want to note though, Argentina beat Australia yesterday in a 3v4. They had 3 players. So a very impressive start, despite being a player down. So,
poor Australia. That's all I'm thinking.
yeah, but really great start for them.
Yeah.
So that's gonna Germany, Argentina. I think is the match to watch out for. And also in Group 1, we have Guatemala and Brazil both at 2-0. I think that's the matchup. That's the last remaining matchup in that group, actually, is between those two. So a fight for that first seed, which will be really nice. Guatemala actually performed very well so far, especially against Panama, who was... Guatemala are the 3rd seed in that group, and they beat Panama by a pretty convincing margin, so that'll be a good fight for that top seed there as well.
And if anything, you know, the match between Spain and UK's, the result of that match is being emphasized as very important because you can potentially dodge Chile, probably Brazil. I mean, that's my best guess, and Switzerland in the other group. So yeah, getting first place in this match is actually really important. So yeah, that makes it even better. You know, it's an all-European battle, like we already said, between two. Well, I don't want to call it the classic because, you know, France is usually in most Mario Kart games the true powerhouse from Europe, and it's no different, I think, in MKT. But right after that, usually, actually, the UK and Spain. So, you know, by itself, it's sort of a classic in my opinion, anyway. And I'm really looking forward to see these players battle it out.
Yeah, for sure, and we will get started as soon as we can here, but here's a reminder of what our group stage looks like so far. Yeah, all of these matchups here are really, really good, as we mentioned in the group draw last weekend, and I do want to point out that we are going to do the draw for these remaining teams following the Chile-Argentina match tonight. That is the last match of the play-in stage, so we'll have everything finalized at that point. So right after that match, we'll do the draw for these remaining teams. So for anyone who sticks around afterwards, that's what is going to be happening. And it looks like we are getting into the match now.
Sweet, and we're heading into 3DS Wario Shipyard, one of the newer tracks, or at least one of the tracks that has been implemented this year for MKT. And personally, especially the normal variation, I really like this track. I just like driving this one. Most of the tracks for MKT, in my opinion, this year were all bangers. Like the tracks this year have been so good, and that's why I'm looking so much forward to the World Cup. How do you feel about the new tracks as a player, Mitch?
I think, yeah, this year the tracks so far have been pretty decent. I do want to mention this current tour that we're looking at has a new city track, Bangkok, and that is a really, like, usually I have my bar set pretty low for city tracks, but Bangkok this time has been pretty solid. I am enjoying it a lot. And we'll get to see that in action today. But there was a bot, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
there was a bot
let's
for sure.
restart.
That was a bot.
So yeah, we'll hopefully get started within the next minute or two, for real.
You never know. Yeah.
But yeah, this.
Can you tell me why America and France always meet each other in the group stage? What is this thing that keeps you have this bind?
Yeah, I'm not. And yeah, it's either France, US, or Peru and France because they
Oh, that's a
always seem
thing
to meet
too.
each
Yeah.
other as well. But
Yeah.
this year, France was actually seeded fifth and not fourth, so that's how that managed to happen in group stage.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Peru and France have a chance to meet again in the bracket stage, though, which would be insane luck or unluck depending on what side you're on for that. But
I don't know what you want as players because honestly, like I really like it when these battles are continuing over the years. You know, like you build up so much. Yeah, I don't know. Like it brings something extra to these matches in general. Just some of these teams you maybe have never played before, or maybe once in a practice war. But when you see one team every single year, they become like your nemesis. You know, it builds this extra layer in the match. I really like that.
yeah, for sure. And there are some potential matches coming from like teams coming from play-ins going into groups that could be potential rematches as well.
I
Um,
didn't see a bot, by the way, Mitch, this time. I'm not sure, but I thought I didn't see a bot.
yeah, I think we're good now.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, we're officially starting up here. We're watching JF today. JF is our point of view.
Oh,
JF
great.
being one of the best Spanish players, has been playing since the beginning of competitive. He's been around for a very long time, so this will be a great point of view to check
Yeah,
out here.
very high rating since forever in lounge as well. It says something about the
Yeah,
player, I guess. But,
yeah.
ooh,
Right
we saw
away, he's
UK
gonna
creeping
take
in the
out.
lead.
Yeah, taking Kush out of first place there, and he'll chain a horn into first now. So JF is
That's
looking really
really good.
nice with top two as well. He has his team supporting him.
That's so
It's
good
very
with the horn.
important. Yeah, very important, especially when the horn is out and not in pocket, having that support, since it is very hard to block reds with the horn. So um, having it out but having protection from the teammate is crucial. And it looks like they're getting a bit of a break here. Uh,
And this is one
Jose
thing
in last
also.
bagging as well.
Yeah, and it's one thing about Wario Shipyard. There's really only this card on the left side where you can go through the off-road. There's the blue, but as we said, there's a horn. It doesn't matter for Team Spain. And the only cut that's actually available, they've just passed it. So if there's no shock in play, this is going to be extremely hard to get back. Got to be careful for the Nana though.
Yeah, now with double protection, he's looking set even if second place gets taken out. But it looks like the third Spanish player ends up in third, and that it's going to
Oh,
be a top three finish, actually, race one.
that's a huge result. Because I also saw the beggar in seventh. He's still in seventh actually.
Yeah, I think Jose got a bill or something. I think he should manage to keep seventh here with that. Yeah,
And there's
there's
the
late
shock.
shot coming in. But I don't think that's going to be enough. Yeah, that's a perfect, with bagging, that's a perfect race for Spain, race one, plus 13.
Ooh, that's a real tough blow straight out of the gates for the UK. Let's see how they recover from this.
So I do want to. So Jose has been the Spanish bagger for a very long time, very solid at bagging, but UK is using Leon bagging. Um,
Ooh,
Leon has played with Dynamite Ruby in the past, in Division One,
yeah,
and has been a runner. And it's
definitely.
interesting to see him in the bagging role this time around for UK. Um,
It's
I'm not too sure how good of a bagger he is, though.
I can understand that he. I mean, it's a double-edged knife, you know. Like ideally, one thing, by the way, that many people probably won't know, but Leon is actually a TA world record holder. He has one of the world records. He said it in the early days in I think Bowser's Castle 2 hour. Just a bit of trivia, or 1 hour
Yeah, I
actually.
do remember that actually. Yeah, it's
So he's definitely a good runner. But what I wanted to say is that Leon also has the most experience, and actually for the bagging position, it's not just about running into walls. You actually need a lot of experience on a lot of tracks to be able to be an efficient bagger. And since bagging is 100%, in my opinion, the most important role for any team, um, it's a double-edged thing because he's also probably the best runner. I could totally understand that, but the bagging position being so important, I think that just made them, convince them to for him to start bagging. That would be
Yeah,
my best guess.
and he's actually in last right now, so he's.
It's-
I think they're approaching a set, so he could potentially pull shock here.
yeah,
And if they pull it, there's almost no way that this top three is going to be broken up. UK have just actually been running this whole race. He's JF drafting into third here. He has this bomb,
ooh,
could go for a snipe, and
that's
it's gonna
such a
land.
beautiful bomb. It's such a
Great
beautiful
snipe.
bomb.
I think that was onto Alex. That's huge. That just leaves Cushion first, and he could. No, only one red, and
He
he has protection. So it
he
looks like
should
he'll
have
keep first.
Yeah, and he should have double protection because he has been in first so long,
Yeah,
and he
so he'll
also
keep
had one red.
first.
So
Yeah, so
oh,
one and 2-3-4 actually is what it ends up being for Spain. So yeah, that was the play of the race for sure. Great snipe from
that
JF.
that bomb looked black, but it was actually golden. Seriously, that was such a good bomb. I mean, just imagine if they had a 1-2 result straight back. Even if you're like 1-2, you can even start back spamming maybe. So it's being 1-2 is such a critical position for basically every team, and breaking that is usually pretty hard in MKT. So JF being able to do that was actually a huge thing.
Yeah, that was crazy. He got the draft too to get into third. That was what set him up for that. So that was just really good play, like awareness, because he had a heart, and with the heart, he could risk taking. I think it was Zaber who was in third, taking Zaber's trail off, in
Right.
order to get up into third and get into position to snipe there. So
And
really
here's some
good play.
yeah, definitely. And here's some refreshing track because SNES Choco Island 1R or all the variations is so people usually don't bag here because it's so short, and shock usually doesn't have much of an effect because people will hold stars the second they get it from the second set. So shock has a diminishing effect anyway, and the track duration is just so short that it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and I think this is the one
3 players getting hit out from Spain though. This is huge.
that was crazy. But both of them pulling stars and the mega from Jose,
Ooh.
but he's gonna hit JF there a little bit.
And I think Jeff should have
Messy.
reset immediately. Let's see how he recovers from this, but it's kind of sketchy that he waited so long. Oh, but there's a
He'll pull
shock though.
shock. He'll pull shock on third box, but the star was already used from his teammate, so they don't have dodges. They would need to use a late shock now, but he'll get redded.
Yeah,
He'll
and I
use
think
it to recover from the red, but he'll actually get into sixth. That's bottom two for UK, and they'll actually get a winning race from that.
I thought for a moment that this was a very good race for UK because Jeff seemed hesitant to use shock because there was a player from Spain in first. And then somehow the player from Spain got hit out. So I thought since Jeff didn't use his shock and the players were already that far that they would get a top 2. But somehow one of the players from Spain actually recovered first place, which was huge yet again.
Yeah, really good plays up in the front because it is worth noting because we mentioned the track is so short. One hit that can be your race done already. So recovering back into first was a really good play. He maybe pulled a mushroom or something to make that happen, but yeah, really
Yeah,
good recovery from Spain.
yeah. That's why I was surprised when Jeff got hit out for the second time at the end of lap 1 that he didn't immediately use mushroom and star because more often than not you're just not recovering if there are enough mushrooms in the room.
Yeah, so now we
This is
have
cheap.
yeah, Cheep Lagoon. An interesting track for sure because there are only 2 sets on this track, 2 item sets. So
Yes.
bagging it's really just up in the air on this track, but both teams are going to opt to go for it. Really, they only have really only one chance to get it on the second set.
Yes,
So,
for sure.
and shocks on this track are always late. So, but UK with a great start, JF going to take one of them out, but top 2. All right, we got someone shrooming up. That's Lion Jin. And
Oh,
Saber's red.
that's
He
a
tries to red
nasty red hit.
lion. Yeah, he tries. I think he tried to red lion, but it went for JF on the side. So that is going to take JF out, and this pull is not ideal for him at all. 2 greens and
No,
6. Lionjin
honestly
actually
not.
gets taken out, so UK is actually recovering these spots again. And like we
Brilliant
said,
stuff.
that's Leon. Bagger's about to pass the set. Leon is in last.
And there's no free items here for JF and Leon, which is really big because sometimes you get them from the clams, but this time it's not, and they're just not recovering because look at the items JF is holding. Oh, but the late shock
There's
though,
a late
and the
shock.
ground shroom.
Is that first? No, not
Oh,
quite.
oh,
Not
JF.
quite, but a 135 for UK still. But yeah, that was almost a guaranteed top 2 without that shock.
Yeah.
That had to have been a Jose shock in 7th. That had to have been because UK would have held shock in top 2.
And I don't know
So
if it was a absolutely nasty play from the player from UK readying JF out. It looked like he dropped for a bit just to red him. I'm not 100% sure, but it looked that way, right? That was a super nasty hit anyway.
yeah, I'm not sure if that was the case or if he was just spacing really far for his teammate in first, and then when Lionjin shroom up, he just tried to red him. I couldn't tell exactly, but
It,
either way,
it,
whoever was getting redded there, their race was going to be over,
yeah.
basically.
And
Especially
for
with that chain that JF got.
for JF, it was a godsend that shock actually got pulled. Like we said, the chance for a shock to get pulled in that specific track is like 0.1%. Like you'll almost never see it with 2 dedicated beggars because there's realistically only one chance to pull it, and yeah,
In
that's
7th, nonetheless. I'm like I'm
exactly
almost certain it was Jose in 7th there. So yeah,
extremely
really
lucky.
crazy result. But now we're gonna move on to Rosa Ice World, and that's a great pull for JF right off the bat. 2 shrooms on the first set.
Yeah,
Looks like this is Alex. I think is the Wendy who also has a mushroom here. So he'll have to contest to try and get that box in second.
there's still a Wendy in second from the UK.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
there you go.
he got a red first set actually behind his mushroom, so he'll take out JF. But he's left in first, and with only Spain behind him, I don't think he's gonna last long.
Oh, that was a nasty driving mistake. You should have seen that ping win by a mile.
Go for the back. I think yeah, that connects. That connects
Ooh,
onto. I think
this
that
red
was
is going to be
pushed.
big. This red might be big. Let's see how UK communicates this. If the player throws away his stuff, and ooh, he
He
didn't throw it
did,
forward.
but JF throws his red back. That's interesting. He totally could have hit Alex there.
Yeah,
But top 2 is held confidently. That's Tonkian and Lion being the other 2 Spanish runners, and looking pretty good for them right now. I don't think
the
Alex has
UK's
any reds.
no, but we can also assume that Spain doesn't have any dodges. Maybe in second place if they got lucky, and we still see UK in last.
Oh,
So they're
I think that's a Spanish member getting taken out. Bomb attempt from Alex, not going to land, but he has a chance to get double reds on this last set. But JF might hunt him down in the star.
yeah, he's definitely gonna pass him.
And yeah, he'll pass him for sure. I think he was in a heart, so that's top 2 for JF. Great play from JF with the star.
Yeah.
And good effort from Alex too. He did manage to take one of the Spanish players out. They're all using Shy Guy, so I couldn't tell who it was. But JF had the star to recover there, and that he did what he needed to do there.
Yeah, he definitely did. I only think back of the chance he had to red out the player in third, and then I think they would have had a really easy top 3 if Shock didn't get pulled, like it didn't happen in this race. But he recovered really well after that, that's for sure.
So yeah, I think it's worth noting. I think most of the tracks in this tour, if not, yeah, I think all of them except for the new city track, we've seen in previous. We may have even seen a lot of these tracks in the last World Cup. So a lot of tracks that we're familiar with, which is nice. I'm not sure exactly what the next tour is going to bring. I don't know if that announcement has happened yet.
Yeah, we're getting
Torres.
the 8DX track, PD Piranha slide. I think it's also an MK7. I'm not sure though.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, I did hear about that
Yeah.
actually. So that'll be interesting to see next tour how Piranha Plant Slide um, functions in Mario Kart Tour. I can
Yeah.
already tell we're gonna have some catastrophes on that glider, though.
No, because in MKT there might be a glider respawn forward, Mitch. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe we'll see yet another glider respawn on a Mario Kart Tour track. That would
Nah,
be
honestly, I would be surprised. It's one of those tracks where I don't think you'll respawn forward. I think it will definitely destroy a race, just like it does in ADX. But we'll see.
yeah, onto focusing on Luigi's Mansion here. UK in decent spots, but JF is threatening with this Mega in fifth.
I wonder where he's planning to use it. If he's taking the shortcut here on the left and
He might chain. Yeah, he'll actually
and the
chain. I
blue is
think
on the
that's a good
way.
play.
And
Yeah.
that's a blue on the way. That's really, really good
Yeah,
for
blue onto
Spain anyway.
Alex, and this is pretty much guaranteed. Oh,
And
that's
there's a shock.
Shock for UK. That's Leon right there. They will probably just
Okay.
TS JF off after the
But
box.
JF has this information that's really, really good. And there's a glider now, so it's not that effective
Ooh,
anyway.
he's getting redded off though. He could get past, but
Can
maybe not. That's close. Okay, Zaber takes first there.
Okay, Mitch, please explain to me why he threw his reds away, because I still don't get it. I know they were 2, 3, 4. That's very clear, but why did he throw his defense away?
I couldn't tell you. That was
I'm
definitely a
so confused.
weird play when they were 2, 3, 4, especially. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he like predicted he was gonna get shocked, so he like tried to hit Leon with his reds to like
That's
delay
yeah,
it. But
okay.
even then, that's not gonna help too much.
Honestly, that's a fair assumption that he thought he would get shocked out and his defense would disappear anyway. But still, yeah. No, I don't know. What I can say in his defense is that it's a very good back spam spot, because you can't avoid it. If you throw it perfectly along the wall, then everyone who passes that, they'll always have to drive through the line at which you back spam.
Yeah,
There's no other way, so that's why it's a really good back spam spot. But still, he would have won the race if he held his items.
yeah. It was close. It looked like he had a break. Yeah, he got a breakaway because of the blue shell. So he had a lot of space, but wasn't quite enough as Zabra was able to. He just barely snuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was also like he thought he was like he had plenty of space to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's possible, but either way, that still wasn't too bad of a race for Spain in the end. 2-3-5.
No.
So
Definitely, and if we look at the scoreline, they're 28 ahead, which is absolutely huge. And there's only 5 tracks left, I think. So
yeah,
maybe
we're deep into it now. So UK have got to start making a push back towards the lead now. But JF with these triple shrooms, I don't know if he'll. Yeah, I think he'll
have to
cut. Yeah, he is starting to get a little behind here. That's Alex in first, and
I
Lion in
think JF
second.
is in a perfect position, honestly, because he's really close to the pack, and he can pick stars and mushrooms here, and he picks 1 star up, which is still really good.
Ooh, but
So
that's Tonkin getting taken out. Top 3 right now, but
top 3, but this is the point where they'll be able to recover.
and he
probably.
chains the Mega too, so he should be getting first if nothing catastrophic happens to him. He'll get
Unless they're already
a little bit.
They might already hold shrooms. Oh, but this is even a better pool. Yeah.
Oh, but wow, he doesn't pass anyone off that. That's still a top 3 for UK. Yeah, he was in a perfect setup going into beginning lap 2, and then I think like he kind of got bumped before the last set.
Mitch, I'm a time trialer, so maybe I'm more focused on lines than other people. But he completely messed up his lines, and that's why he didn't get first, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If we remember at the shortcut, which where you have like the gray ice, which slows you down, he took a line that was too much inward, so he couldn't. Yeah, he just made a terrible corner, bumped into a wall. That
Yeah.
also set him up for a really bad second corner, and that's where he lost the time and where he gave UK basically a top 3, because I really think he had the items and the pulls to at least get second and probably first. But hey, they're making it close for us, so I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly what UK needed, and yeah, for the sake of our viewing, this is a really great comeback for UK. I think, was that top 3-8 or top 3-7? I didn't quite
I
see.
think
Either
top
way,
3-8. I think top 3-8.
so plus, yeah, plus 11 or plus 13 either way is huge. And we're going into Sunset Wilds, and JF actually pulling out the Toadette for this track. We see a few
Yes.
people pull out the triple mushroom on this track. It can pay off very well, but you need to pull that triple mushroom pretty early, and this is not a triple mushroom for JF right now. 2 green shells.
I have a
He'll get bumped a
very.
little bit.
I don't like triple mushrooms in the normal variation. I understand it better in the R variation, where if with one triple mushroom, you can actually take 2 shortcuts at the same time
Yeah.
at the very end. But in this variation, I don't like it that much, honestly.
Yeah, he'll
But,
pull it now, but how much use is he going to get out of it at this point? Cushion a star in front of him, but his teammates do have top 2 now, actually, as one of UK gets taken out. Tonkian actually gets traded pretty
Oh,
early.
and these are some really good items, especially because their first place will hold mushroom probably. So now it looks like they're getting first, especially with a player in second defending him. Yeah, he pulled
Yeah.
godly items.
Yeah, he doesn't. He drafted into first going into the set, but he didn't. It didn't really matter with triple shrooms. He was recovering, no matter what
Yeah,
happened to him there.
the
And yeah, his
biggest
teammate did manage to come up too.
Yeah, the biggest thing was his teammate being in second, because that would have made it a very risky thing for JF. If he used the mushroom behind him and the player from UK pulled 2 reds, then yeah, JF would have held on to his triple mushrooms no matter what. So then it would have been a very tough decision of when you're going to use those triple mushrooms. But his teammate really, Leonjin, proved his weight worth in gold, because being in second, nothing would happen to JF, and all they need is like first places in these tracks. The rest of the positions don't matter that much, because it's UK that needs to recover.
Yeah, UK are definitely in under all of the pressure right now, and even like less races. We're approaching the end here, and UK got to start making these pushes up to the front and holding them. They did take Tonkian out, but really JF was able to come up with the mushrooms, and that was what resulted in such a good race for them. But going back into Shipyard, and this is the T
Shipyard
version this time, so
I don't think that some T variations play way different than the other variations, but I don't think it counts for the T variation of Wario Shipyard. It's basically the same. You still have the same cut. You can with some very specific inputs, you can actually do this cut without a mushroom, and I think you see it right here. But still, the mushroom usually helps just a bit. But the rest of the track plays exactly the same, basically.
yeah, the cut, yeah, as you said,
Only
the
no
cut,
glider.
yeah, the cut position or oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. The cut functions pretty similarly. Yeah, JF did. He managed to skip over the cut without a mushroom. That is, you can maintain your air there by doing specific inputs. You can actually hold your drift while doing it too. JF maybe told that there's a red
Yeah,
in play. Yeah, he's trying to
he
drop.
definitely he definitely got told
So
there's a run.
Alex now in first with this red, but Spain in 2-3-4.
I really like that proactive play from JF to drop, because he would get hit out in a very toxic spot after the item set. If you get redded out there, then your race is basically over. But now
Yeah.
in a tough position, now Alex is in a tough position. I can't see how much
Yeah.
defense he has, but
Yeah, he took out.
Potentially double reds.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah, double coins for
Oh, but
Alex,
the return blue though.
instant blue shell,
Oh, and Jeff.
and that's gonna be, yeah, he'll keep first. UK
Yeah,
is gonna
Jeff couldn't
1-3.
go wide, so I wonder if he took down one of his teammates with him because Spain was still in 1-2. It was hard to tell, but he couldn't go wide anymore. So
Yeah, that was he was on the turn, so the blue shell came, and also the pack I think was pretty close there. So the blue
yes,
shell, that he had no warning, it just appeared. So, um,
yeah, he might
yeah,
have taken a team member down with him in the gray.
yeah,
It's hard to tell, but that's a very realistic thing, I think. 1-3-6-8. That's a decent result for UK, but it's not good enough.
it's it's a start, but they're gonna need to get control of that top two at the very least, and so and then definitely for the rest of these races here, they need to get control of that top two. Spain has been doing very well at getting into that top two. UK has been struggling a bit. They gotta um, start making the play and holding off Spain to maintain their frontal presence.
Very
So
little shock so far, by the way, Mitch, don't you think?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think we've only seen one in a race. There was one that was like after the race ended, but I think it was just one
Yeah, we've
shock
seen.
from Jose on Cheep. That was the
Nah,
one shock, I think.
and we've seen Leon have hold it in Luigi's Mansion, and we've seen JF hold it in Choco Island 1 hour, I think.
Oh,
But
yeah. You're right. Yeah,
anyway, very low impact shocks. Maybe we should put it like that then.
yeah. Jeff going for that snipe on Alex, not quite gonna connect, and ooh, his second red gets lagged. So Alex is gonna keep first for now, but he's just gonna let Alex touch that box, or JF touch the box in second. No reds though,
Yeah,
but now
nice
he's
sweet
double
ref.
protection first.
Is he attempting to backspam? Because he's not holding a drift, that's why I wonder. Huh, he
I
throws
think,
that green away. Looks like a
yeah,
mistake.
I think third is battling with him pretty close. Yeah, so yeah, he'll get into second now,
Oh, that's
and
really good. And he
another
pulls the horn.
horn pull.
Okay, so now
So
it's just about solid driving. And we have Spain in 8th place. This is essentially perfect for Spain.
yeah, so Jose just passed a box, so he could have it in his possession now.
No
And
toxic penguin pattern too. Great. You know how that penguin can be in
yep,
the way when you pass.
that section is always stressful on lap 2. Never know
Yeah.
quite exactly where those penguins are going to end up unless you're on perfect pace. And the third Spanish member was in third for just a moment, but got
Yeah, he
taken out right
dropped.
away. But top two
Yeah.
again held by Spain.
Yeah, great driving. Just very solid. I don't feel like Jeff was ever under any pressure. And again, because one of his teammates was in second, he if UK crept into second, he would have been under some pressure because he was holding a horn and he kept on pulling a coin in second place, but in his second item slot. But yeah, now they just had a free drive to first. Really well done. Also, Jose doing a good job getting staying in 8th for such a long time,
Yeah,
diminishing the chance of UK to pull a shock.
yeah, definitely. And this is looking. Was that race? That looked like race 11, right? So I think that wraps it up, and I think Spain clinched
Uh,
it off that. Maybe there's two
wasn't there?
more actually.
Yeah, that's what I
Spain already has
thought.
200 points, so
Yeah, either way, it will be it will be a miracle comeback if they still do it from this point on. That's for sure.
a difference of 30. So I'm not quite. It's either 2 or 1. Either way,
I thought too, but I'm not 100% sure.
okay,
Yeah,
no, there are 2. So it's still mathematically possible for UK to bring this back, but they need to all run. They need to all run here.
I will
And
say that
yeah,
I've
they're,
seen
they're gonna
crazier
make the call
things.
out. They will all run here.
Yeah, I will say that I've seen crazier things, but definitely not many times. That's for sure.
It will be a miracle.
Yeah.
And Jose. JF falling to the classic trail after the first set of Luigi's Mansion. Very hard to avoid trails in that section. And okay, that
Yeah, that's toxic.
in
He already pulled
7th
the
as
shock.
well. Yeah, just pull it out right away, revealing the shock to... this could potentially be a double shock. But no, it was just a single shock in 7th. Jose dodging in last, and yeah, really, all they need to do is confirm like a singular top spot, and they win the war. So they can just be reckless with the shocks, but they're actually going to get into top 4 off of that.
Yeah, they're just in a really good position. I think this track is also really good when you can get 7th and 8th, because there's so many opportunities for shortcuts that even from 7th place you can recover really well. So I thought him getting hit out at the beginning was just fine in general. It doesn't really matter in this track anyway. So yeah, now the UK is in a world of pain, and they'll never recover from this because Jeff has a star.
Yeah, top 4. Oh, okay. Jose got taken out, but really all they needed was a top 4 position, and they definitely did that. So with that, Spain will mathematically confirm their win here.
Yeah, good on them, and I think very deserved. I've just seen a bit more synergy from Spain. We've seen some good team calls. Jeff immediately dropping, getting information from his team that there's reds behind him. They gave each other pretty good protection in general, I think. Especially JF benefited from that. That's why I think his points this war are pretty high already with 1 race to go. And yeah, I think that just sealed the deal. Two little frontal presents for UK.
And Spain will now get to take their victory lap on Choco Island 1.
You love to see it. You really don't want to play this this track, but when everything's still on the line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if this were a closer war, I would actually hate that this was their last track, but
yes,
it won't matter in this case. So this track can either be a really nice reset, or it can just come at the most inopportune time, like in the last few races, and just completely throw everything up in the air.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in this case, it won't matter. And Spain, they might even get another top 3 off of this last race. And yeah, I think they will.
I never evaluate these these tracks where everything has already been decided. You don't know what players are doing. They might as well just not play too serious, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So congrats to Spain. They will take first place in their group. And really great effort from UK. We did see some great individual plays. And it was a really great effort from them. And they will move on to group stage as well, since they did beat Nicaragua. They will be moving on as well. So, yeah, that'll put Spain at 2-0 and UK at 1-1, and they will both move on. So, let's take a look at some of the other... Quickly, before we wrap it up, there are a few matches left today. We will be casting Chile-Argentina tonight. That is the last match of the day. We will be casting that. Like I mentioned, the Argentina-Germany match, which determines second seed in that group, that is still happening, I believe, coming up right now, actually, in 15 minutes. I think there's 3 matches, actually, in 15 minutes, so there's...
I was about to say, if Germany plays much later, then it's in the middle of the night for them, so probably they're playing pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, so that's happening in 15 minutes. Ecuador, Venezuela, and Chile, Australia. Those 3 matches are all happening in 15 minutes. Then, yeah, Brazil, Guatemala, like I mentioned, that's happening in, I believe, 4 hours. So that's a bit later. That's a bit later on tonight. Ecuador, Bolivia is still happening as well, just before that. And like I mentioned, we'll wrap it up with Chile, Argentina on Mario Kart Central.
And then you have the
And-
group draws, right?
Yep. So that since that is the last match, we will be drawing the groups from play-in stage and putting them into their group for the group stage next weekend. So that will be happening tonight as well.
Nice, so much to see. You love it.
Yeah, and most of these matches will have streams. So for those who are stopping by for the first time and aren't aware, we do have a Discord server where all of this is being organized. There is a chat there for streams, so you can check out anyone posting their streams of these matches from that channel. But yeah, we will be back later tonight in 5 hours, I believe, for Chile, Argentina. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Congrats again to Spain on their win.
Definitely.
And good luck to all the other teams playing tonight. Still
Yeah.
a lot of good matches left to see. So yeah, we will see you guys in a few hours for our next cast.
All right, take care, everyone.